Okay, we have started in the previous lectures. That is, we have completed the handoff, different types of handoff. That is hard handoff and soft handoff. Hard handoff is nothing but what break before make, and the soft handoff is make before break. And we have seen the different types of handoffs over there: intra BSc handoff, inter BSc, and inter MSc handoff. Okay, and we have started the interference and system capacity. The interference and system capacity we have started, that is what is meant by interference. When two signals are going to interfere with each other, that is going to create a disturbance in the particular signal, that is called as an interference. Where it is occurs, that is when the two base bands, that is base stations, are going to operating in a same frequency band. The two base stations are operating in a same frequency band, the interference is going to occur. And this interference is also occurs the crosstalk between the two signals. Crosstalk between the two signals, interference will be occurs. And there are mainly two types of interference we have seen, that is one is co-channel interference and one is adjacent channel interference. Co-channel interference and one is adjacent channel interference. And you have already seen the co-channel interference, and remaining is of adjacent channel interference. Co-channel interference, in short form, it is called as a CCI. Where it is exact, the co-channel interference is occurs when the same set of frequency can be used. The co-channel interference can be occurs. Okay, it is going to occur due to the crosstalk between the two signals. The co-channel interference will be getting, and this co-channel interference is depending only on the radius of the cell, and it's a distance between the two cells. Depending only on the radius of the cell and the distance between the two cells, that is the co-channel interference dependence. So with this, we have to calculate the power margin, that is the frequency reuse ratio. You have to calculate the frequency reuse ratio, that is given by the Q is equals to D divided by R. D stands for a distance between the co-channel cell, and R stands for radius of the cell, that is of square root of 3n. And similarly for adjacent channel interference, in this adjacent channel interference is occurs where that is a nearby, near far effects is going to occur in this. Near far effects is nothing but if the person is using normal mobile, if the person is using a smart mobile. If the person is using the normal mobile, he will be in a problem to get the channels. If the person is using the smart mobile, he will get the channels immediately. Why? Because the strength of that person, that mobile is very high compared to the normal mobiles. There should be a signal impairment. There is a signal should be impairment has to be happens in this adjacent channel interference. Where it is happens, adjacent channel interference is when the two base stations are operating at the same frequency, but maybe it may not occur, but a third signal is going to interfere with this signal. There is an interference will be occurs in adjacent channel interference. Okay. If you avoid this adjacent channel interference, you have to keep the distance. Just a minute. Okay. To avoid this interference, you have to keep the maximum distance as much as possible to reduce the interference of the signal. Yes, means as much as have to keep the distance maximum to reduce this interference. So this has to be calculated by signal to interference ratio. This has to be calculated by signal to interference ratio, that is S by I. S by I stands for signal to interference ratio is equals to 10 raised to minus of n. 10 raised to minus of n. N stands for a number of channels will be available in a particular cell. N stands for number of channels will be available in a particular cell. So this has to be calculated by this signal to interference ratio. This is what the concept of. Adjacent channel interference. The adjacent channel interference is going to create a near far effects. It is going to create a near far effects. So you have to keep the separation between the two frequencies maximum so that we can reduce the interference ratio. This is We have covered interference and system capacity. Interference, we are having two types. One is co-channel interference and one is adjacent channel interference. Okay, next point of this unit is improving the capacity of cellular system. Improving the capacity of cellular system. How you have to improve the capacity of cellular system? There are mainly two types for improving the capacity of a cellular system. One is cell splitting and second is sectoring. Write on this. He has mentioned in your syllabus directly that cell splitting and sectoring. These two processes, these two parameters can be used to improve the capacity of a cellular system. How these two processes are going to improve the capacity of cellular system, we'll see. What is cell splitting? Cell splitting, the name itself will tell you the meaning that you have to split the cell. You have to split a particular cell. You have to split the existing cell into the smaller cells. Splitting of existing cell into the smaller cells. Again, the smaller cells into the micro cells. That has to be used in cell splitting. Cell splitting is mainly based on the cell radius reduction. Okay, it is whatever the radius of a particular cell, you have to reduce that. You have to split that radius, that is r divided by 2. R divided by 2. You have to split that particular cell and you have to reduce that particular reduction so that we can give the more and more services to the particular user and the quality of service will be increases and performance of particular system will be increases. So that is what they are using the cell splitting. That is, it has to be taken place mainly in the urban areas. Mainly in the urban areas. The cell splitting is based on the cell radius reduction and minimizes the need to modify the existing cell parameters. What are the parameters we are getting in this? That is the distance between the two co-channels and that is D, that has to be modified by. The basic definition of this cell splitting is what? Cell splitting is a process of subdividing the congested cell. Congested is already existing cell. Congested is already existing cell into a normal cell. Into a normal cell. Each cell is having its own base station and reduction in the antenna size and reduction in the transmitting power. Getting the point? Cell splitting is a process of subdividing the existing cell into the smaller cells. Once you divide that particular cell into a smaller cell, same cell inside one more cell. One cell inside there is a one more cell. That cell again one more cell. One cell is having a total 3 number of cells in that inside cell. That is what cell splitting you are seeing here. This diagram. See inside the cell. Now one cell is having one more cell inside. The second cell is having one more cell and the third cell is having one more cell. Like this they are doing this. Same cell, the existing cell is divided into a smaller cell like this. That is what subsection. This smaller cell, inside cell you are seeing that inside cell is demanding for a new base station instead of using the existing base station. Instead of using the existing base station, the smaller cells are going to demand for a new base station so that the more and more subscriber can be arrived at a particular cell so that we give a particular services to the particular subscribers with a better quality of service. That has to be used in this cell splitting. Nowadays we are using this cell splitting. Why? Because the population goes on, increases nowadays day by day. That has to be used for cell splitting. Okay. If you use for a cell splitting process, it has to increase the particular capacity of a cellular system. Why? Because the number of channels can be increases. We can reuse the frequency. We can reuse the number of channels present in a particular cell so that the cell splitting will increases the capacity of a cellular system. So increases the number of times channels has to be reused. When the particular cell has been split into the smaller cell, a particular cell, the existing cell has been split into the smaller cell. This type of smaller cell is called as a microcell, MICRO, with a smaller radii. If you split a particular cell, एक cell split किया, small हो गया, उसका radius भी small हो गया. Radius ज़्यादा था पहला cell का, existing cell का, उसका जो cell split किया, radius कम हो गया. That is what? So existing cell is divided into the smaller cell. This type of process is called as microcell. Microcell. If you are using many number of microcells, it is increases the capacity of a particular system. There are some of the few challenges as to be used for increasing the capacity of a system, cellular system. The few challenges are nothing but what? If the cell is small, there would be more of them. So additional base station will be needed in the system. Means existing cell is having number of base stations, and that existing cell has to be split into the smaller cell, inside that existing cell into one more cell, and that existing cell, that is splitting cell, the smaller cell is again demanding for a new base station. So that is what increase the capacity. It is one of the challenges. This a smaller cell is not going to use for a existing base station. These smaller cells are going to demand for new base stations. Is going to demand for a new base station. That is what it increases the capacity. That is one of the challenges. It is going to introduce a new base station without the need to move the already existing base station. Existing cells are demanding for the new base station instead of going for a already existing base station. This can be used in a highly populated area. The city may have a highly populated area, so the demand must be supported by the cell with the smallest radius. Where the demand has to be given, the radius of a cell is less, highly populated areas, like Mumbai and Pune, they are using the cell splitting process. The number of users are coming in and going out from that area. So the cell splitting has to be applicable for this highly populated areas. So if the radius is less, if the cell splitting is there, we can give more and more services to that particular user. So the demand must be gone for a smallest radius as compared to the higher radius. But the maximum radius demand must be gone where the population is less. That is in the urban areas. Like your Pandupur, Solapur, that is districts. Where the population is less, we are going for a radius is high. This is what concept of cell splitting. In the figure you have seen number of hexagonal cells. We are saying number of in the 3 cells in the middle of the cells. We are seeing the number of existing cells, the smaller cells. At the center of a cell, that is A, center of a cell, that is A, which has a maximum capacity. Center of a cell, that is A, which has a maximum capacity. So the radius of a cell is less. The radius of a cell is reduced, so it has a maximum capacity. Okay. If the half of the radius, 1/2, that is a smaller cell having a half of the radius, it is going to cover the 1/4 of the area. It is going to cover the 1/4 of the area. One cell, the splitting cell is cover 1/4 of the area. Second, half of the cell is going to cover 1/4 of the area, and the third cell is going to cover 1/4 of the area, so that we can cover more and more areas which is having a splitted cell. It is going to cover for a 1/4 of the area, so it is cover 1/4 of the subscribers present in that particular area. So they have used the method that cell splitting. Got the point? This is very, very important. Cell splitting is a process of subdividing the congested cell into the smaller cells. The definition is what? Cell splitting is a process of subdividing the congested cell or the existing cells into the smaller cells. That is called as cell splitting. These smaller cells is called as a microcell. These smaller cells are also called as a microcells. These microcells having a smaller radius. These smaller cells, the microcells are having the smaller radius. These microcells are going to demanding for a new base station instead of using the existing base station. Demanding for a new base station instead of using the existing base station. And where there it is applicable, the smaller cells, where the population is more, the demand must be gone for a smaller radius. Where the population is less, the demand goes for a larger radius. That is what the concept of cell splitting. Second type is sectoring. Sectoring. Sectoring is nothing but we have to divide a particular cell into a sectors. Particular cell into a sector. Sector is nothing but one cell into the three sectors. One cell into a three sector, or one cell into a six sectors. That is six number of cells. A cell divided into three 120-degree sectors. Sector is nothing but it has to be applicable for a degree wise. 60 degree, 120 degree, and 360 degree, 180 degree. Like this, they are going to be divided in a particular cell into a sectors. Sector is basically a technique which can increase the signal to interference ratio without increasing the cluster size. If you want to increase a particular SIR, that is signal to interference ratio, without increasing the cluster size. What is the size of cluster? I already told you, that is the symbol assigned by the capital N. Capital N. N is equals to 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, and 21. This is what the size of a cluster. Okay. And this cluster is having, this particular cell is having, the base station is located in the center. Okay. They are using the directional antenna, that is uniformly omnidirectional antennas. If the particular base station is located at the corner, we are using directional antennas. And this sectoring process has been removed from the center of a cell, to the corner of a cell. So that we are using the only omnidirectional antennas. Only omnidirectional antenna, for which we can do the better and better services to the subscribers. So we are using this sectoring. The sectoring can be divided a particular cell into a smaller cells, that is in a sector wise, 1, 2, 3, 3 sectors. That is to be used in a degree wise, that is 120-degree sectors. 120, 120, 240, 240 plus 120, that is of becomes 360 degree. Or you can divide the particular cell into 6 cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that becomes 60-degree sectors of each cell. 60-degree sector of each cell. One cell is having 60, second is also 60, up to 6, 60, 6, 6 is 360 degree. So whatever the cell we are having, that cell has to be divided into a sector wise cell. Okay, 120 degree, 60 degree. Similarly for this, we are using 3 sectors, that is 1, 2, 3, and that is having a 120-degree sector, or we have a particular cell has to be divided into a 6 sectors, that is 1 to 6, that is to be 60-degree sectors. Okay. Likewise, you have to separate a particular cell into the 120-degree sectors or 60-degree sectors. Why this technique has to be used? To reduce the co-channel interference. To reduce the co-channel interference, we are using this sectoring method. We are using the sectoring method for reducing the co-channel interference. And okay, different sectors we are using, that is already we are seen 360-degree sector cell, 120-degree sector cell, and 60-degree. 360-degree only one cell. 360-degree there is only one cell. 120-degree, a particular one cell is divided into 3 sectors, that is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Particularly existing cell is divided into 3 sectors, that is 1, 2, 3. That is 120 degree. And 60 degree sectors, We are dividing one cell into 6 sectors, dividing existing cell into the 6 sectors, that is 1 to 6. That has to be given in the different sectoring methods. What are the advantages of this sectoring? One is to improve the signal to interference ratio. For improving the S by signal to interference ratio, and it reduces the interference, we increase the capacity. Once the interference has been reduced, the capacity of a particular system has been increased. It enables to reduce cluster size and provide an additional freedom in the assigning channels. If you reduce the cluster size, the capacity of a cell will be increases. Once you reduce the size of the cluster, the channels, whatever the channels used in that particular cell can be increases. That is what some of the advantages comes under this sectoring. The next difference between the cell splitting and sectoring. What are the difference between cell splitting and sectoring? You already know the definition of this cell splitting. Cell is divided into subdividing cells for efficient for a system. The existing cell is divided into a smaller cell, that is a micro cell, that is known as a cell splitting. What is a sectoring? The existing cell is divided into a sector wise. Existing cell is divided into a sector wise, that is of 1 to 3 or 1 to 6 or 1, 360 degree, 120 degree and 60 degree. Next, a cell is divided into a smaller cell. A small existing cell is divided into a smaller cell, that is cell splitting. In sectoring, a cell is divided into a sectoring, that is 120 degree to 60 degree sectors. D by R ratio is kept constant to improve the system capacity. D is nothing but what? Distance between the two co-channel cells, and capital R is nothing but radius of a cell. Capital R is a radius of a cell. So it is always constant to improve the capacity of a system. The D by R ratio is reduced to improve the system capacity. Why? Because if you want to reduce this D by R ratio, then you can maintain a particular distance between the two cells, that is of a existing cell has to be divided into sectors, so that highly directional antennas can be installed in this particular sector wise cell. This method is used to control the traffic and increase the speed. Traffic is nothing but there are many number of users who wants to get a channels for communication purposes. So that has to be controlled by this MSC, that is mobile switching center, and speed has been increased. Next, handoff channel for transmission is also increased in cell splitting. If you split a particular cell, there is no problem for getting the any handoff processes. There is no problem for getting the handoff processes. This is what the concept of cell splitting and sectoring. You can see the clear pictures over here. Cell splitting here. The base station. This is what a particular hexagonal cell. That hexagonal cell has been split into a smaller cell. That A, you are seeing that A, capital A is has a maximum capacity. This is what the explanation. Sectoring. This is what the sectoring process. If you are using for a 120 degree sectors, you have to divide a particular cell into a 3 sectors, 1, 2, 3, and cell into a 3 sectors, that is 1, 2, 3. If you want for a 60 degree sectors, this has to be used for a suburban areas. 120 degree sectors, suburban areas where the population is less. Where the population is more, they are going for a 60 degree sectors. They are going for a 60 degree sectors. Okay. Next point is microzone cell concept. Microzone cell concept. What is the concept of this micro cell zone concept? Micro is nothing but a small cell. Micro is nothing but what? A small cell. The existing cell has to be reduced to the smaller cell with the smaller radius. If you use this micro cell zone concept, it is going to increase the capacity of a particular system. It will increase the capacity of a particular system we are using for a micro cell zone concept. For this, we are using this concept here. Existing cell into a many number of smaller cells. Existing cell into a many number of smaller cells. What is this? There is a zone and it has to be taken care, that is A, that is a microcell zone A, microcell zone B, microcell zone C. If you use this concept, that is microcell zone, that is radius, that is the interference has to be reduced. Interference is going to reduce because of this microcell zone concept. Particular A will have its particular radius, particular base station, number of base channels, and B is having its own base station, its own channels. C is having its own base station and its own channels. Use this microcell concept, it is going to improve the CCI, decrease the co-channel interference. It decreases the co-channel interference and improves the signal quality and the capacity. So signal capacity has been increased. If once the signal capacity quality has been increased, the capacity is also increases. No extra handoffs. Extra handoff is nothing but whatever the users present in that particular areas, that has to be taken care by those areas itself. Why? Because it has to be divided in a zone wise. That has to be divided in a zone wise. Particular zone has to be taken care of that handoff. Particular zone has to be taken care of that handoff, so that there is no limitations in the handoff. So there is no extra handoffs has to be taking place. If it is there, increase in the capacity, since the smaller cluster size can be used. Already told you previously, if the size of the cluster is small, it increases the capacity and interference is more. Cluster size is small, increases the capacity and interference is more. Cluster size is high, decreases the capacity, interference is less. Interference is less. So that they are more for a smaller cells, smaller cluster size. A cell is conceptually divided into a microcell or a zones. Instead of calling a microcell, they are calling it as a zone. A particular zone is taking care of this, these many users, these many subscribers, and zone is taking care of this handoff processes. And that is to be taken care by this allocating a particular channel to the particular requesting user. That has to be taken care by this microcell zone or a zone, that is called as zone. Each microcell zone is connected to a base station. All the base stations, or if you consider a small cell, that small cell is having a main office that is called as a base station. All the information has to be carried out by that is only one base station. That is same base station has to be connected, and that information has to be given to the MSC, that is mobile switching center. Each zone uses a directional antenna, because while you're using directional antennas, we are going for a sectoring method. So we are using directional antennas. Each zone, that is A, that zone number A, zone number B, zone number C, is having its own directional antennas. Each zone radiates power into a cell. A particular power station is present in a particular zone, that is A is having its own power station, B is having its own power station, and C is having its own power station. So whatever the power the station is present in this, that has to be radiates in this A itself. That is B is radiates in B itself. C is going to radiates in its C itself. That has to be taken care by this only one base station that is connected. Mobile station is served by a strongest zone. All the mobile users are present in particular each of the zone. That zone has to be taken care by this mobile station users to get a signal, to get a particular channel that has to be taken care by this particular zone. As a mobile travels from one zone to another, it retains the same channel, no handoff, because we are moving in a same location. We are moving in a same location, and that same channel has to be allocated. Zone is nothing but particular area. Particular area. That is, you can consider in Pandharpur, that is a Gopalpur. You are roaming in a particular Gopalpur area. That Gopalpur area, if you are roaming, you are having the same channel. There is no handoff should be there. There is no handoff should be there. So that is what, as a mobile travels from one zone to the other zone, the same channel has to be allocated. Instead of getting the other channels, there is no handoff has to be required. So they are moving for a micro cell zone concept. Micro cell zone concept. The base station simply switches the channel to the next zone site. Instead of allocating the other channel to the requesting user, just a shifting of channel has to be taken place. The shifting of channel has to be taken place. If a person is located at A, zone A, channel is allocated, he moved from zone A to zone B, same channel is to be there. He moved from zone A to zone B, same channel has to be there. And he moved from B to C, same channel has to be allocated. There is no changes in the particular channel. Once he move away from the particular zone, then that has to be taken care by the MSC, that to allocate a particular other channel. He has crossed the particular zones, that has to be taken care by this MSC. Next, advantages of this: interference is low. Why? Because there is no connection, there is no interfering with many number of channels or the many number of signals. That interference is less, as we are using a small power transmitters antenna. If each zone is having its own base station or antenna stations, B is also having its own antenna station, C is also having its own antenna station. That has to be taken care by this. Interference is going to less. Improves the voice quality. There is no disturbance in between. Few handoffs due to smaller area. That is not that much of handoff has to be taken place in the smaller areas, though they are moving for a micro cell zone concept. This is what concept of cell splitting, that is improving the capacity of cellular system, and micro cell zone concept. And last one point is remaining, 1 to 2 points. That is, one is trunking and grade of service, and repeaters. These are the 2 points we will cover tomorrow, and we will complete this unit tomorrow. Okay. Be prepared for seminars, maybe on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I am going to take your unit number 1 seminar, that is going to consider as your term work. Be prepared for that. Okay. We'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll complete this unit. After completing this unit, I will take a unit test from unit number 1. I will declare the dates also on Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. If possible, we'll take it on Thursday. Thursday is no lecture.
Okay,
I will tell you the dates. Monday I will tell you. Or else you prepare for that test also. Be prepared. On Wednesday I will take the seminars from 1 to 15. You have to take your own time.